Chris Smyrose here, and I am recording for you today how to properly set up your Masterbuilt Electric Smoker with the amazing tube. It would also work very similarly with the amazing tray as well as the Wedgie, and so just going to give you the hints and pointers here. So first, if you're using pellets, you take and you put them in the microwave 30 seconds. I had filled this plate almost to the rim, and this is, I think, a 12-inch, you can see by my hand, Dixie Ultimate plate. And so I filled that, and I've already poured the rest of them in because doing this one-handed for video is difficult. But filled it, and you can see down inside of here as I pour them in. And now mine's not 100% full, but today I'm going to be smoking a smaller chicken as well as a pork roast. We've got a family in my church, or I guess formerly of my church. They raise completely pastured hogs and develop tremendous pork. And so it's all free range, fully organic, delicious pork, and we're going to do a pork roast from them. But I've stuck them in, and you can see it's about 80% or so full. I like to pack them down just a tiny little bit. And then from there, you get a torch. This is a pretty simple operating unit. You turn your gas on, give it some spark. After I turn the safety off, or on. And you want a good flame. You don't want a weak flame. What I do, I take a barbecue tong. Barbecue tong works perfectly for me. You're also going to need something to set it on once it's going to sit there and smolder. Since I've got a wooden deck, I have a nice piece of old smoker box metal that I'll set mine on. And so I'm going to set the phone down here so that you can see as I do this. I'll keep talking my way through it. Alright, you can see, got the torch. You start torching directly in, right on where those pellets go. You want to keep that torch on there until they're fully lit, and you're going to want this to burn for 3 to 5 minutes before you actually blow it out. You want some good combustion to be going so that they really get smoldering. Okay? We're going to let that burn for a little while here. And I may even hit it some more with the torch, just to keep it really rolling. I really want to get those initial pellets going quite hot. You can see on the tube, we got a good bit of fire and smoke going. So we are at about 2.5 minutes here, and my pellets continue to burn their initial burn. Here shortly I will blow it out, and then we will insert it. I have an MES 40-inch, and I will get the tube put into the bottom of that, and then I'll run inside and grab my meat, and we will be smoking. So the secrets with using one of these is, you've got to come down here, take your chip tray out, okay, and you want to pull it about halfway out. Right about there is going to be enough to let the air flow through so that it doesn't choke out the pellets. The pellets need more air. You're going to produce a lot more smoke with a pellet tube. As you can see here, it's just actually blowing itself out in the wind. And that's pretty good timing because I was about to blow it out. but you need to have that extra allowance for air getting into your smoker. Otherwise, these aren't going to burn properly, and they're going to be at a low temp smolder, and it's not going to be enough oxygen getting in there to keep them going, and they turn to kind of like a sludge, and it's not going to taste good. It's not going to have the proper tasting smoke. It's not going to have the right amount of smoke. And so that is a critical tip right there. You can take it out entirely, but in some cases that will feed it even too much air. What I'm using today are Smokehouse hickory pellets. Even though they're hickory, they're actually a blend, as it says, a blend of hickory and Pacific alderwood. And we'll see how that works out. I'm questioning if it may be a bit strong on the chicken, but I think on the pork roast that I'm doing, it should be pretty fantastic. So now we'll stick it into the smoker. Open my door here. I've got this preheating. Again, use your tongs, don't burn yourself. And you can see for mine, this is a perfect fit on the MES 40. You'd have to lay it sideways otherwise. Down latch the door. And here shortly, you'll be able to see smoke starting to come out ever so slightly. There it comes, it's starting to roll. Leave your top vent wide open. And this will be the last time that I'm going to look here before the finished product. So I'm about 15-20 minutes in, and you can see they're smoking. Temp probe in the breast. Another probe on into the thick part of my roast. Should be a nice one. A little over 2 pounds. The bird's almost 5 actually. And I've got the pork dripping on the chicken. Always put your poultry on the bottom. Looking isn't cooking, so we're going to get this closed. And you can see the smoke is rolling. And off we go. Also, Masterbuilt glass doors. Marketing technique. I don't ever clean mine. There's no point. Once the smoke starts to build up and the humidity starts to build up, I can't see anything on the inside anyhow. So I don't see the point. But you can kind of tell something's in there. Everything else is rolling. So we'll be eating in a few hours. So I'm 45 minutes into the smoke. And it's a little hard to tell. But this is with my Mason tube. And that's 45 minutes in. And as I was saying earlier, yeah, I don't even know if you can see. I guess you can kind of see some of the movement of the smoke inside of there. That is filling up the box. These glass windows on these Masterbuilt smokers just are almost as much of a nuisance as anything, because they're just something extra to clean. So I don't do a whole lot of work on keeping mine clean. About once a quarter, maybe every 3-4 months at best, I will hit it with some water vinegar mix in a spray bottle and then scrape it off with a razor blade to clean it. But it doesn't stay for very long. We are at about 2 hours into my smoke of chicken and my pork, and I've still got smoke rolling out of the MES 40 using the Mason tube. It's a bit breezy at the moment, so it's hard to see a whole lot of that smoke, but it's good, clean, decent, you know, that thin, light smoke like you want. You don't want a dark, dank, heavy cloud. It's going to make your stuff taste bad. And you can see in the smoker box maybe some wisps here and there, but hard to see much. But it is smoking. It's starting to smell good. Finished product.